Hey, what's going on? It is time for the dreaded FTP test. I've been putting it off. What can I say? Not my favorite thing in the world to do, but I got to get this done. So that's what we're doing today. Just make sure that everything is set up all right. Hey, what's going on? We're doing the dreaded FTP test. As is tradition. Not looking forward to this, but we'll see how things go. Got to get it done, so we're going to get to it. Let's check on a couple things. All right. So far, so ugly. We're going to do our warm-up in the test versus otherwise. Start our workout. There we go. Hey, Josh. FTP test time, Sufferfest time, the ugly test time. Oh, not looking forward to this. But we got to check it out, see if we made any gains, so on and so forth. How you doing, buddy? And we'll talk for the 5 minutes that I have before I start jumping into this. And then it's laser focus time. Now we're doing all right. We're doing all right. How about you, man? What's new and exciting in your world? I missed your last couple streams, I see. But I got it bookmarked. I did go and subscribe to Josh WRB. Oh, dude, no. No. That sucks, dude. Oh. Hopefully passes quickly. Nothing worse than being sick, just recovering. Well, at least you're on the road to recovery. That's good to hear. So, for those of you that don't know what a functional threshold power test is, or FTP test, it's to see what my average power would be for an hour. I'm doing a 20-minute ramp test to basically figure out what that is. And starts off not so bad, and then it turns to suck really fast, and then you ultimately fail. It's a test you're always going to fail. Yesterday, I think, or hope was the worst of it. Oh, I hope so, dude. You know, I hate being sick. I hate how it's just being sick sucks, man. I feel for you, dude. You know, hopefully you're just relaxing, taking it easy, and not, because I know you work from home, that you're not working or working too hard, kind of deal. So I have no idea where we're going to land on this test. None whatsoever. Could be tough. Could be not so tough. Hey, Easy. Well, welcome to the stream. It's going to be not fun, this. I hate testing, and this is definitely, yeah, just not my favorite thing to do, but I have to get it done, and this is the day we're doing it. Josh, I have extra work this week coming. Oh God. Well, I hope not too much that you can't relax, man. How are things with you, Easy? What's new and exciting? You racing it all in the coming days or today? You got WTRL. I know they tried to rope me in to do team time trial today. Very tempting because that's how much I hate testing. What am I looking to beat? I'm not looking to beat anything. I am looking to see sort of where we're at. I think if I take a look at my numbers, my power numbers, if I can bring those up, not on the desktop, I think what we're looking at is, let's go there. Oh, that's what I hate is the difference between the desktop and the app. So our hour power, we're looking over, hopefully over 230. Hopefully over 230. Took on Rolling Highlands yesterday, but dropped at the end. Tough finish. Yeah, it's definitely a tough course. That 3 times up breakaway Bray makes for a very, very tough race. Not fun. Not fun, especially if you're on the heavier end of things. Yeah, Josh, I went looking for your OBS screens and I couldn't find them. I was thinking, I was going to see what you had and thinking of revamping. Always looking at changing stuff on the stream. So you're going to give the Z series another crack, Easy. Like I said, it's tough, but it's, you know, I think once you get the lay for the course, it's all good. It depends on the group too. Like, I mean, if everybody's pushing the climbs, it can get brutal really fast. All right. I like how this ramp test lulls you into a sense of that you're doing okay. I took them down. Oh, okay, cool. Lulls you into a sense of false security. Doing power that you know you can do and you feel okay. And then just smash you. Saturday morning for you? Fair. No tiny races this week then, I assume, Easy? Yeah, Josh, I saw Brian started streaming and he's using your rainbow one. I like how it's like, you're still feeling fine? You should be. Now, if this was my first FTP test, I might take that It's like, oh, this isn't so bad. But I know the suck that is about to come. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna go from I'm fine to I'm toast pretty quick. I don't think they're a good time for anybody easy. My head's just too thick to realize that I shouldn't do them. Yeah. Way past fast. I've got the suck coming. I absolutely have it coming. Always. Possibly. But we'll talk about that after the test. Motherfucker. Oh. Ah, terrible. Feels terrible. Oh. Whew. Oh. Yeah, I haven't really gained much. Yeah. I don't know if today was the best day to do it, to be honest, but you would have been in the 70s way past fast. Oh. Thanks, Josh. Ah, it's terrible. I feel that wasn't a very good attempt. I hate it because you want to adjust, or I want to adjust. I want to kind of like get one stroke in and readjust in the seats, but I feel that's not the most best way to do things here. I'm almost tempted to run at it again. So Zwift Ace asked, do you think I'll ever use my whoosh? I mean, it's it's on the list. I'm on Mac, and there is a beta. Pookie Butt got me into that, and I haven't downloaded it yet. I mean, if the price is right, it's free. I probably should, just to try it. But to be honest, I've been working a lot on getting, I mean, I know it's not here for this, but the HUD up and running for the live streams. So all this data, but So I've been spending the time on that, working on bot stuff. Clearly, if it's 260, I need to be working harder. We'll see. That'll come. Way past fast will whip me into shape in the spring. He'll get me working hard. Or harder than I've been working. So what do you guys have planned for the week? I mean, obviously, me, it's this. Tiny race is Saturday. We got to film the last of the cold plunge tub stuff. And we'll see. I'm actually kind of curious. I'll take a look here. All right, so my last FTP bump was January 20th. I went from 254 to 257. So I guess it is a 3-watt increase since then. Which I shouldn't be disappointed with, because a lot of people spend thousands of dollars to gain those 1, 2, 3 watts on parts sometimes. I think you're capable of more than 260. You're not off your feet. Yeah, well, that's the thing that's seated. I mean, if I were able to stand and push, yeah, it would be higher, but again, you're using different muscles. I think the whole point of the test is to fatigue and build that fatigue. Whereas if you get out of your saddle, you're kind of cheating. But like I said, I'll take 3 watts. I'll take it. Are you doing tinies? Which round? I'll be doing zone 3. Zone 2 is at like 8 in the morning. And I'm normally up at 5 every day. So I do like that one day to kind of catch up with some sleep. And I did it once, and most of you know that I have a dog. So when I get up in the morning, first thing first is he goes for his walk. No ifs, ands, or buts. He won't have it any other way. So it just makes it a little tight in the morning for the zone, I think zone 2. So zone 3 is the way I go. It's nice too, because George hits up zone 3. I know that you've done zone 3 before too, Easy. And there's a couple other guys that hit up zone 3 as well. One of my friends sent me a message. I'll have to take a look, but yeah, there's another guy, he said, streaming zone 3 tiny races. He said it was interesting to watch the races, not from my camera, but watch my camera, if that makes sense, which I get. That's kind of cool. I'll have to take a look and see how that goes. Tinies are just brutal, but they're short, I guess. Thanks. Thanks, way past fast. Appreciate that. I'd like it to be better. I feel like I should be able to push harder. Is kind of what I think. I think at the end I can definitely push a little bit more. I just have to focus in. I think if I use this, if I'm smart, I will know at that kind of 320 watt mark is where it's going to start to go. So if I can focus in, move to the drops, focus on good position on the seat, focus on like probably keeping my cadence a little better, it should work a little better, I would think. I got to unbox that other heart rate monitor. Fourth Frontier was nice enough to send me out a new heart rate monitor because I did some horrible stuff to the one that I'm wearing currently, and it has not responded well to its abusive treatment that it has received. But guys at Fourth Frontier are awesome, so they're taking care of me as always. But yeah, do not basically knock something off a high table and then when you go to pick it up, stand on it. It doesn't bode well for electronics. So I highly recommend not doing that. You know, if you can leave it to just like dropping it or standing on it, but doing both in rapid succession is not advised. Actually, none of it is advised. I'll have to get that out of the box and get that all done up. Yeah, so maybe that'll be this weekend project. Maybe I'll get Whoop out and see how that's running. Zwift Ace. I mean, seeing as it's free, it's not a big deal to kind of go and try it out. I mean, why not? You know, I'm sure everybody's all over the fact that Zwift has just laid off a bunch of people again, which, you know, it's tough on people, man. It's like just February, kind of a shitty time to get laid off. Just, I feel for people, man. It's life's rough with stuff like that. You know. Now there's our 100K virtually for the week met. I need to change that as well. I usually do that in the first couple days, but it's been a low kilometer week this week. I tapered off a little bit, knowing that I was going to test, and maybe that was a mistake too. I don't know. How do you guys approach your FTP tests, if you do them? What do you do for going into it? Like, I took yesterday off. Part of me sometimes thinks that I should spin the day before anyways. The other part of me just says I should be as fully rested as possible going into it. And so you leave nothing on the table. Again, I was a little tired going into it today. And I mean, my rest day yesterday wasn't really a rest day. It was a weight day. And the weights have been kicking my butt. I definitely get sore after those. I definitely feel them. I don't know, for whatever reason, like doing this after I do back and chest just is something else. Try it out for zone 2 in the training plans. Our good FTP advanced builder. I might have to do that. I mean, typically what I've been doing is zone 2 stuff, riding mostly zone 2, and then I'll just do the Z racing and I'll do the tiny races, and I'll do the ZRL, so 3 races in a week. That's my workouts. So polarized. What do you think Zwift mistakes are for layoffs, or just the times? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a mistake. I mean, it's very difficult to tell, you know, sort of what they're trimming. I mean, they have a huge user base. They'll have investors. They've got to keep those people pleased. They have a massive advantage over other platforms. You know, I would assume that everybody's paying, you know, that monthly to yearly admission to ride, and that you know, there's a huge volume of people. You know, they want to keep their advantage. Is really what it comes down to. Is I think with platforms like My Whoosh coming up, specifically them, even though, you know, I've heard mixed reviews about the platform. You know, they're trying to get into that esports space and make it an esport. And while Zwift has dominated that space, you know, the fact that they're doing world championships, I mean, it may, if they have enough backing and enough money, they may be able to swing the tide a little bit. But it's going to be hard. I mean, Zwift has such a head start on everybody. Now with, as I'm sure you've all heard, Zwift also eliminated the one hub, settled their differences with Wahoo, and have now got the Wahoo core with the basically one hub trainer, that they're likely, basically with software update, going to update their other trainers to be integrated with the Zwift Play. So having virtual shifting, so when you're on a bike like I am with a cassette on your hub, and I'm on the just the kicker, so I think I'm on the V5. It's you'll be able to switch virtually. You won't even have to switch gears utilizing, you know, your gears, which, I mean, in theory, it's going to save your cables and your battery life and your, you know, actuations if you're on an electronic group set. And basically you're saving everything on your bike, which is probably a good thing. But it shows a stronger partnership. I mean, Wahoo kind of has that between them and Garmin with the Neo Tax, and that, those are your kind of two big boys in that space. You know, Elite's in there as well as some other brands, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be interesting times moving forward. You know, the space has changed, especially in fitness. You know, it's things can change really fast, and you launch something and it becomes really popular, and it can have a good life cycle, but sometimes those things die. I mean, all you have to do is look as far as Peloton, and you'll see a company that came out at the right time, benefited from COVID, accelerated through massive bike sales, couldn't keep up with sales, massive growth of their platform, you know, $120 US a stock, and now you can buy it for like $4. It's how it goes. Mergers, more mergers and acquisitions. And that's, you know, it's how a lot of these companies are. There's a lot of companies out there that will create something. And you see this, you know, in the world of tech and electronics, where ultimately, you know, bigger companies will just swallow them up. One, to get rid of their competition, and B, to acquire their tech or or development or patents or whatever the case may be. And you know, it works well. So some of these companies will start up. I mean, again, you need not look any further than Wahoo, where Wahoo basically bought, what was it? They made System X. They had the race platform, and no sooner than they bought it, they shut it down. But they acquired that user base, you know. And then when everybody complained about it, they're just like, yeah, here you go. Here's a Zwift membership, and you're part of our System X family, so you can still do all the workouts and stuff. That's the way you acquire user bases. I would not be surprised, you know, if you see some of these guys like Zwift acquire more user bases like that and just absorb them. Wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Same thing with My Whoosh. I have a feeling they got a huge backing, is what it is. Apple has, let me go back. Peloton for sure got me into cycling in 2020, but to be honest, yeah, and that's what I mean. It's I think for people like I work with a lot of bands, and some of these guys, no word of a lie, there is a band that I know that I've toured with that they are all about the spin class. They love spin classes. They are spin class mad. So if they're in a city, they go to a spin class. That's what they do. They want to go and they want to rock out on the bike, and they want to have a good time, and they want to work out, and they want to keep fit because they're touring and, you know, do some healthy stuff. But they also tour with a couple Pelotons. Like that's what they do. You know, but Peloton isn't for everybody. A lot of people that are into Peloton are not into cycling. They want to get a sweat on, rock out for half an hour, listen to some music, you know, have their instructor crushes, and go from there. But like I said, I mean, it's still vastly popular. It's just, it's had its arc, and they're struggling now. You know, they might be around, they might not be. They might get acquired by somebody else. Who knows? That's the fitness industry. Apple has got the cash. Surprised they don't blow some of their cash. I am waiting for them to hit the fitness space a little harder. I mean, they have the fitness app, and they're definitely in that space. They might wait till after this stuff with the Apple Watch is resolved. For those of you who don't know, Apple with these watches, basically the sensor for the oxygen meter on the watches was manufactured by a company, and Apple wanted it. So Apple wanted to buy the company. They wanted to do business with this company, and for whatever reason, they didn't want to do it. So what Apple did, they just went and hired all these people, gave them big pay raises, and hired them onto Apple. Basically took all their top guys. And one of their top guys has the patent, or put out the patent for Apple for this O2 meter. And of course, that doesn't sit well with the company because they just basically hijacked them. And lo and behold, now they got a lawsuit. Initially, there was like an injunction, but now they can't even sell these watches, like things like the Ultra. They can't even sell them now. I think what it was they couldn't sell any more than they had, and now they just can't sell them at all. So, but that's, I think, in America only, because I think you can still get the watches in Canada. So interesting to watch, especially with Apple Vision. So Apple Vision's an interesting thing. I mean, I've seen a couple, you know, influencer videos, for lack of a better term, and I've seen some people that have just gone out and buy them. There's some cool stuff about it. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, for the price, I don't know, it's pretty expensive. And to be honest, like, if you really want to look at it from one way, it's early tech. So no matter what you do, if you buy the Vision Pro or the Apple Vision Pro, is it the Apple Vision Pro? I don't even know. If you buy the Apple Vision Pro today, you are buying the shittiest model that Apple will ever make. It will likely be the heaviest model. It'll be, you know, not necessarily the most durable. There'll be a bunch of things that go on with that. First generation, you are basically glorified beta testers. Now, it's kind of cool device, but I don't know if I'd want to, you know, walk around or have that thing locked on my head all day long. Buy it in store, sell it 10 years for keep it in box. I'm sure there's people that will do that 100%. You know, I'm not a keep it in the box kind of guy. If you could see sort of the studio here, I've got some stuff. I've got some, got a Hulk model, some King Kong stuff, and they're all out of the box, man. Life's too short. Enjoy your shit. Got a Batman statue. Like, it's just, enjoy your stuff, man. It's like, if you want it, get it, enjoy it, live your life. Like, it's, but I get it, you know. So somebody will do that, and all power to them. Like, they just had somebody here that had a box, like a box, like a big crate or carton of O-Pee-Chee hockey cards. So in that, it had about 24 boxes that they used to put in stores and flip up so you would buy hockey cards. And they had this thing in the basement, and I can't remember what year it was specifically, but it was Gretzky's rookie year. So they figure there's at least potentially 16 Gretzky rookie cards in this big boxes of hockey cards. So they put it up for sale. It's well over $1 million now. I'll have to take a look and see where it is, but you know, thing was, the guy had forgotten about it. That's the thing. Like, I think he honestly just forgot. He knew he had hockey cards or some old hockey cards. He just didn't realize what exactly he had, and it worked out for him. So good for that dude. I mean, I think they said potentially this will be the largest lots of near mint, potentially near mint Gretzky rookie cards that will ever be pulled again. Because it would have been, what, 80 something. Gretzky, 80, what would it be, 84? 1984? I don't know. Not a huge hockey guy. I mean, to be honest, I think Gretzky was a thing before I even immigrated to this country from the UK, so who the heck knows? But if you Google that, you'll see there's a guy in Saskatchewan that yanked this stuff out of his basement. The other thing is, like, you know, if you're like me and in your spare time, you know, you'll read things on Reddit or Discord or Zwift Insider. There's a lot of people that are like pumped about this Vision Pro and want to like Zwift in it, which I think, I don't know about you, but for me, it's like, no way, man. Like, I think anybody that says that does not wear glasses like I do. Because these are a constant battle. Like, they get sweaty, they get foggy. If I wipe my forehead or take them off for a second, then they steam up. It's a constant nightmare. Something big, bulky, and just kind of really just a helmet with very little ventilation around your eyes is going to be a nightmare. Yeah, I'm originally from the UK. Family's from Glenrothes and Fife, and then I lived in Redditch near Birmingham for a while, and then I emigrated here, and I've been here for the better part of almost 40 years now, going on 40 years, so it's been a while, but most of my family still lives in the UK. Most of them are still in Glenrothes, so it's I don't go back nearly enough. You will know when I go back because for about a week afterwards, I'll have a little twang in my talk. It'll be a little less Canadian sounding, I guess, is kind of the thing. But yeah, it's I'm due to go back. I haven't gone back in quite a while, so I should get on that. And I kind of want to do some riding there as well, given the opportunity, and just have some fun. I mean, typically when I go back for a month. I'll go visit family for a week, then usually I'll find some cheap Ryanair or EasyJet flight, and I will pick a random country based on how cheap it is to get there. Just take, kind of a day bag and clothes, go for a few days and have some fun. Yeah, bring the bike is definitely a thing. I think it's easier to borrow, like my cousin's bike. It's probably the easier way to go. Less of a headache. Or rent. I kind of looked at the, like I said, my family's from Glenrothes, which is in Fife, which is across the Firth Road Bridge. Sort of north of Edinburgh, so they're in Scotland. I have thought about just flying to London and stopping there, going to the Rafa Cafe and renting from them, and then just kind of ride sections that I want to ride, and then take the train up north. Discs with all the hydraulics would be painful. No, you know what? Like, honestly, hydraulics are fine. The problem comes when things go wrong, I guess. Like, it's cables are. You just put a new cable in, and you're good. Your hydraulics hose goes, and then you got to, you need to bleed kits, and you got to run. It just becomes a big pain in the ass. So I guess you're right in that sense. I mean, hydraulics are the way to go, I think. In the rim brake and disc brake kind of argument, I'm definitely a disc guy, but I've been running disc brakes for a very long time, seeing as I've mountain biked for a very long time. And mountain bikes have been all about hydraulic disc brakes forever. You can't match the braking power. You just can't do it. Yeah, it will definitely be what'll be on my all my road bikes going forward is disc. hydro disc. But I agree, like, I mean, to be honest, if you're just getting into riding and, you know, you don't want to spend a ton of money, you can get some beautiful rim brake bikes, some older bikes that just fantastic, and they're easy to maintain and parts are cheap, which is huge. Because, I mean, let's be honest, sometimes cycling isn't the cheapest sport in the world to be involved in. So kind of the craziness from that. But what are you riding these days, Zwift Ace? What kind of bike you on? What are you running for gear? I will hopefully, if all goes well here, be on a crux come spring. We'll have to see how all that goes. It's and you know, I'm still debating what exactly route to go with that. My current gravel bike is all GRX, all mechanical. I kind of like that. I like, you know, something that's going to get dirty and beat up to kind of just be easy and cheap to fix like that. I bagged an S-Works rim brake for dirt cheap from a dentist. Durian Rider loves dentists. That he does. Durian Rider loves dentists. You know what, man? Again, it's like, if you can afford that stuff, which I can't, I'll be honest, I can't. And I ride for Specialized. It's all the power to you. If you're on an S-Works, however you get there, and if you want to pay that money and ride that bike, all the power to you. It's they are things of beauty. Like, they are beautiful bikes. I know my good friend Mitch on Two Wheels. He's on S-Works. He has an S-Works SL7. He has an S-Works SL8. Beautiful bikes. And you're on an S-Works rim brake. So what are you on? You're on a 6. Are you on a Venge? Well, what do you got running? Either way, I bet you that bike is beautiful and fully capable. You know, that's yeah, the rim brake prices, nobody wants them anymore. And you know, that's, again, it's road. Do you need disc brakes? Probably not. SL5, nice, very nice. Still very capable bike, very, very fast, and a thing of beauty. They're fully capable, and that's the thing. Like, to be honest, on road, like, how often are you using your brakes? Like, I mean, when I got my first road bike for rehabbing my injury from mountain biking, I bought like brake pads at the time, because I'm like, oh wow, man, I'm gonna go through brake pads like you wouldn't believe. Like, you're gonna put on so many miles, you're gonna put on so, you don't touch the brakes. I mean, you do sometimes, like obviously when you're descending you do, but you don't go through brakes like you do. I will say that where I differ from maybe somebody like Durian Rider in opinion is, I think that basically disc brakes, you are going to you're going to have an advantage. They have better braking power if you understand how to ride them properly. And that being said, is a lot of people transition from rim brakes to disc brakes and the modulation is completely different. And when you've been riding something for a very long time, and you're used to certain behaviors from that, you're going to find it a bit of a transition across. And the unfortunate thing with road is that a lot of times if you're descending, a bad time to learn about how grippy disc brakes are when you're descending at a top speed is not a good time to learn that lesson. Can come out pretty bad. But you know, I will always pick disc brakes over rim if given the option. They just mountain bikers use them for a reason, and I mean, mountain bikers, you go through the slop, you go through the mud, you go through everything, and you're going down steep faces, and they work. They just work. You know, it's where you start getting in trouble is rim brakes. Like you have carbon fiber wheels, and you start breaking those down, and eventually your rims are going to go because you're going to go through the braking surface, and eventually they're going to be toast. But that's like anything. Bikes have parts that break down. Now, would you rather, I guess, if you look at it from a sense of investment, would you rather buy a bike with, and go out and you decide that you don't want to ride an aluminum wheel set anymore, you want to treat yourself, get yourself a nice, set of carbon rims, lighten things up a little bit because you like climbing and doing all those sort of things, and you go out and you spend, on the low end of things, probably a couple $1,000 on a rim set. Now, you have an option of getting a rim brake version or a disc brake version. The disc brake version is going to last forever. It's going to last forever. Barring any mishaps like you hit potholes or do something stupid. Carbon rims, they are pretty durable, especially for road riding. Like it's flat. You're not hitting rocks, you're not hitting ruts, you're not sliding out and smashing boulders like you do in mountain biking, where rims do get broken. But rims of choice, still again, carbon fiber, because they are strong and they can take the beating that goes out there. And the problem is the rim brake runs is over time that eventually you will wear out that rim. You can always rebuild a rim. You can take the bearings out, you can repack the bearings, you can put in new bearings, you can press them in. That rim is good. And if you look at things like SRAM, like Zip, for example, those things have lifetime warranties. They are going to last forever. And if they don't and something goes wrong and it's a manufacturing defect, it's not that you started dirt jumping on your gravel bike and blew out a wheel, like Fabian. They'll get replaced. They're really good about that stuff. It's like I said, there's so many different ways, but by no means am I being disparaging towards rim brakes. They work great. I still think a lot of people, if they want to try the sport and they don't want to spend a ton of money, I know in the city here that there is a ton of places that, whether it be Youth en Route or Bathtub Bikes, or they bring second life to a lot of these bikes. And if you can find yourself a good dentist, 100%, you're going to find yourself probably a great deal on a bike. You're probably going to put yourself at a more bike than you would with something entry level sometimes, for a much cheaper part, or for a much cheaper price point, which is good. And then you can figure things out from there. I mean, let's be honest, most people go through bikes. I mean, it's not like we don't ride them a lot. I mean, you know, my Cervelo has upwards of, I think we were just talking about it the other day, myself, Mitch, and Two Wheels, upwards of 30,000 kilometers on it. And that's my gravel bike. So, you know, it's, you treat things right and you maintain them properly, it's good. You know, it's, and like I said, you know, a lot of old bikes that people, the problem is, I think with a lot of bikes is that, especially with COVID, and you're going to find a lot of this now, is that a lot of people bought bikes they probably wouldn't have bought had there not been the supply issues that there were. I bet you there are smoking deals out there because they were probably gung-ho during COVID. There'll be a certain section of that population that's still going, and then there'll be a section of that population that they spent five grand, you know, plus on a bike that they're not necessarily riding anymore. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's, you know, they'll probably let that go for cheap because it's just collecting dust, and they spent a lot of money, and they just want to get some of that back. So you think Durian Rider is a dinosaur stuck in the past? I think Durian Rider is very good at occupying the space that he does. He has, like I said, he has valid points about certain things. Some things I think he says he just likes to be an agitator because that gets some views, and that's fair. Like he's, you know, he's making his living doing his thing, and all the power to him. I mean, the guy can ride bikes. He's got ability. I mean, you know, it's and he's not wrong that, you know, you can get a bike for a lot cheaper and have just as much fun and probably go just as fast. You can definitely do that. But, you know, I will say some things like, I know he doesn't like carbon fiber frames sometimes. Like, you know, it's like, talk about aluminum bikes. The problem is with aluminum is that they only last so long. You know, carbon fiber, yes, it can have its delicate properties. You don't want to be like, you know, tossing it on the ground and dropping it and smacking it about sometimes. But at the end of the day, aluminum, like if you take an aluminum can and you just take it and you just flex, eventually that can breaks in half. Aluminum has a life. So there are flex points throughout the bike. And again, these are discussions that me and Mitch on Two Wheels have from time to time, is that a lot of mountain bikes, because they do have the flex and they've got a lot more movement and they take a lot more abuse than road bikes, you will see them often break at certain points. And that's just due to metal fatigue. Eventually they'll break, you know, at the chainstay, or they'll break at the head tube, or whatever the case may be. The thing is with aluminum, yes, you can recycle it if they recycle it, but you know, it has a life. Eventually, you know, your aluminum bike is going to break, just for that reason. Steel's great, but you're giving up a lot of weight there, a lot of weight. The accessibility sword is key, you're right. Thank you. But most people want the latest Scott S-Works 1520, but we're not pros. Again, you know, it's, if you can afford it and that brings you happiness, I would sooner spend $20,000 on an S-Works than I would spend probably $20,000 on a car. But that's me, right? Like that's what I enjoy. I spend countless hours on the bike. I probably put more miles on my bikes than I do on my vehicles. And, you know, it's just, again, it's like life's too short, man. Like, if you have the money, by all means. That's like, you know, I can't begrudge somebody that has that kind of disposable income and they want to spend it and have a good time. It's whatever, man. Like, it's, you know, enjoy. It's, you know, it's whatever makes you happy in the long run. You know, it's, for me, I have to be a little more frugal. And the truth is, the matter is, like, you know, that $15,000, $20,000 bike, you know, by the time, you know, a few years pass, that's their, you know, expert model or whatever. It just kind of trickles down. You see it with group sets. Like Shimano, almost everything is electronic now. You know, 105 is electronic. You're going to see probably, you know, cables disappear, which I don't think is necessarily the best move in the world. Just because of what I was talking about, accessibility is important, I think. You know, we still need to have bikes out there that are a few $100, that are decent quality for people to ride and get introduced to the sport, to find out that they love it, and then, you know, let them work their way in. And if they never get into, you know, maybe they're on a $500 road bike and that's it. I mean, my first road bike when I was a kid, I bought a Le Monde that I saved up my paper route money from, and I bought from a police auction. That was probably at the time too big for me. I grew into it and then grew out of it, but you know, it's there's something to be said for accessibility. I've seen a shed load of people trying to get rid of them. You're right. Yeah. I like Mitch. It's a good video you had of the collab. Yeah, Mitch is a good guy. Like I said, Mitch and I go way back. Like history, I guess, is Paint Ink, which you see kind of on my chat screen. I think it's, where is it? The chat screen right there. So we got the Paint Ink logo. We got the, you know, sponsor logos. But Paint Ink was originally the movie production company. Mitch was a downhill racer. He was going to be in the third film that eventually got shelved. But he worked on Paint Ink, the website, for a long time when we had the website going and the forums. And he's a good kid. I've known him since he's like 15 years old. You know, just cutting his teeth in mountain biking and stuff. So he's a good guy. You know, it's obviously, you know, 20 odd years have passed since then, and you know, he's gotten older, and he's, you know, now riding road versus doing mountain bikes. But like I said, he was, you know, he used to be provincial champ for mountain biking, and you know, he's a fast guy. He's a bigger guy, for sure. Got some amazing bike handling skills, that guy, and you know, we've done filming together for a long time, so it's always nice when he comes up. The unfortunate thing was that ride didn't go as planned. If you saw the video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But we have a good time. We talk every day, me and that guy. Every day we talk on the phone, at least. You know, I still talk with a lot of friends that were in the movies, a lot of pros from now and then, and you know, it's sort of a who's who in the godfathers of mountain biking, but good times. Hey, Dirom. Bikes are super crazy expensive. I recommend buying an entry-level carbon frame and train hard. You know, and that's the thing, is like, when you're starting out, it's probably just best to get something, you know, entry-level and go. I mean, even myself, like, I have the SL8, you know, I think I might do Tour de Bonesse, which has a crit component in it. And I don't actually want to ride that bike in the crit component just because of the way crits are. We'll probably get a Specialized LA for that. It's not going to make that big a difference for me at the end of the day. Heck, I still ride my 982 Specialized. Nice. Of course, I have several Cervelos, but I love my Specialized. Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, it's no secret I have some Cervelos that I've ridden. I mean, and they're still around. I haven't got rid of them, but I don't ride them for events and stuff like that because obviously, yes, I got the Specialized thing going, so we do that. I love my SL8, man. I'll tell you, it's a fast bike, and I'm excited to see what the Crux can do for me as well this year. So it'll be fun. Be a fun time, but I have a tendency to keep bikes as well. I gave my nephew, I had a Santa Cruz Bullet that I had kicking around with 888s on the front, and it was reduced to 7 inches of travel on the front, so it was 7 and 7. It was a free ride mountain bike. I just fixed that back up, gave it to my nephew because he's like super into that stuff, so he got that, and that bike's been around for a long time. You know, I was lucky enough to have some good support when I made the mountain bike movies. And then I have the one bike that I do have that I will never get rid of. I have an Imperial Evil. If you've ever heard of Imperial or Evil bikes, if you've ever seen the Imperial Evil, it's like a 90-degree frame. It is my dirt jump / park bike, single speed, fun. So yeah, it's certainly turning very snobby with all these YouTube influencers pushing the latest $200 jersey and $10,000 bike. You're right, and it's, you know, it's tough, right? Like you don't need the biggest, fastest bike, electronic group set, all that kind of stuff. Like I was saying, with the Crux here, I'm debating whether to stay full mechanical because I plan on racing that bike, and I would rather have issues with cables in the middle of nowhere than wrecking a group set, which can sometimes happen in, you know, these things. So I just kind of want to go with that. I mean, you can run a cable, you know, don't really want to run a cable in the middle of a race, but when an electronic group set goes, it goes. I just kind of like the idea of, you know, still being able to fix, especially if we're doing something long and ultra endurance wise, is kind of how that goes. What was today's FTP? 260, 280, 260. The end just ended really fast. I don't think, I didn't feel great at the end. I felt like I fell short, but that's just how these things go, right? Like it's 260. I think for those of you who are still in the stream that were listening earlier, I think I said that my last was 257 on January 20th. So it was, and that was a 3-watt increase. So I went from 254 to 257 on January 20th. It's now February 8th, and we've gone up to 260. So it's okay. I will take any gain. FTP tests I'm not a fan of, to be honest, at the best of times. I think I get in my own head and think that I should be doing way better. It's just, you're stronger than 260, that's for certain. I think if I'm allowed to race how I like to race, we're okay. Thing is with FTP, and we discussed this earlier, is that you know, and Zwift Ace was saying, like, if I could get out of the saddle, I'd probably be way stronger. And that's true, but that's not how FTP tests are designed. You know, if you manage your output during a race, whether that be standing, sitting, changing position, whatever the case may be, I feel that I can put out some more. It's, I don't know, it's, it is what it is. It's just a number. I mean, truth of the matter is, it's just a guide. You know, I'm going to sit on your wheel for as long as possible. And if you're faster than me, if we're going way too slow, I might use it as a guide to see, you know, knowing how far I have to go and what kind of power I'm going to have to do where I sort of sit. That's what I use those power numbers for, because who knows on the day. Some days you feel great, some days you don't feel so great. That FTP is just a snapshot of today at that moment. It's, you know, like I said, it's a guide. It's not like it'll be different tomorrow. I could probably do an FTP now and probably beat it. That's, ironically enough, I think when I did my last FTP, I did the ramp test light. I clicked it by accident, and then it stopped, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And then I did the FTP right after it, so it was like 2 FTP tests, or 1.5 in a row. It just, it's how it goes. I use mechanical. My new tri-bike is mechanical. Better yet, only costs $3K. Saved me lots of money for race wheels. 100%, 100%. It's, you know, you can, bikes are interesting in the sense that, you know, you can make sensible upgrades to your bikes versus buying new bikes all the time. And 100%, you know, wheels, which we were talking about earlier as well, are often a great investment, because not only, you know, usually you buy a bike, unless you're building custom bikes, you will buy a bike, it'll have a wheel set, and you'll do whatever. So, for example, my gravel bike came with aluminum wheels. They're fine, right? They're great for abusing, but they're not the lightest in the world. You can set them up tubeless. They're okay. They work. They're great. Like, they're not terrible. Fully capable. However, if you put a good set, like if you put a Firecrest 303s on or something like that, or even just an entry-level 303S, which I do have actually, it makes a big difference. And you don't have to spend a ton of money. You can, again, you know, wheels are like anything in biking. You can spend a fortune, or, you know, you can get there. But, you know, you'll get great results out of it. And the best part is maybe you decide that you don't want that bike anymore. Maybe you want to go on to something new. Maybe it's time to switch. Maybe it makes sense to buy a new bike. All you do is you throw those aluminum wheels back on, you sell the bike like that, you keep your wheel set. I mean, you keep that investment. It's a good way to do things. I know that there's a lot of guys will buy a bike. Like we just had, I don't think Ryan's still in the chat here, but he just got his SL8, and basically he got rebuilt. If you look at my Instagram, there was definitely some stuff on that there with his bike, but it's basically completely rebuilt. You know, different handlebars, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, when it comes to the end of that life of that bike, you can throw all the stuff that you had back on it, and out the door it goes. There. Yeah, you're holding 280/90 regular in races. See, but I've got something to work for there. That's the difference. Is Like I said, I think I've said it in the streams before. I'm a lazy rider. I will go as slow as you let me. And like I said, with the FTP test today, I just think I wasn't in the right cadence at the right time to do that effort. I should have been probably a little bit faster, and I would have been able to push a little bit longer, but oh well. Interesting, went to 28 centimeters wheel for the tri-bike and saw an immediate savings in 40K time. Nice, nice. It's yeah, it's aerodynamics are crazy what you can actually save. Like, while I may be disappointed that it was only a 3-watt gain, some people, like I said, spend a lot of money to get 3 watts through parts. One of the things, if you're not doing it already, which apparently is amazing, is aero socks. Aero socks are apparently one of the best value upgrades that you can make to your kit. It's mainly because, you know, your legs are there and they're rotating and they're spinning and they're definitely taking a lot of that air turbulence off the front. So, I mean, that's a great way for, you know, as little as 20 bucks, I think sometimes I see those things on sale for. Just get yourself a good pair of aero socks. And then, you know, the normal things like fitted kits and all that kind of stuff will definitely save you time as well. Sometimes a better investment than aero handlebars or something like that. Went 19 centimeters in the day, 170 PSI. Whew. To 28 and 78, hard to believe they're faster. Yeah, and that's the crazy thing too. It's, again, some of this stuff that's kind of getting exported from mountain biking. You know, like mountain biking has been tubeless for a very long time. Love to, you know, it's just easier to run lower pressures and hit shitty terrain kind of thing. And, you know, when you get punctures and they don't basically flat you out, you know, it works out way better. But the nice thing is like the higher tire volume, the lower pressure, you get way better grip. And there's definitely a balance in there. I know I run 2 different sets. I run 28s and I run 32s on my road tires. And then gravel tires, I run 38 and I run 40s. But I had, when I first got the SL8, I had 26s on there and I just left them on there and I rode them. And there's actually a video of it. I was riding with way past fast. It didn't even last a ride. Yeah, higher pressure, smaller tire. It just, I find it better, and it's like, I find myself faster with those tires, the bigger tires, and definitely on descents, it makes a huge difference. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's all these little things that you can change that make a difference. You know, and I imagine with tri, and I imagine with being on a, I assume you're on a TT bike, that, you know, everything from position to, you know, extensions and all that kind of stuff is going to make a difference for you. Like body position will be one of the hugest things that makes a difference in your riding overall. Where are we at? 41K. I've been yammering on. I'm not even paying attention to my cadence or anything. This is the most, all I had planned was the FTP ride. Like I said, I almost excused my way out of it in the sense that They needed an extra guy for the time trial. And I'm not a big TT guy, and I almost did it. We've been experimenting with crank length lately, very interesting stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure like with TT about crank length because, you know, I think most time trial courses are relatively straight-ish, although that's not always the rule or the case. You know, I will say that, you know, I run probably shorter cranks than most, just for cornering ability. That's just, again, that's another thing that mountain biking does that I think road is kind of picking up on. I don't know, long cranks must have been the belief that a longer stroke, more power. I don't know. It's, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. So are you been going shorter crank lengths? Is that kind of what you've been doing, Dirom? If you've been experimenting with, like, I don't know how big you are or how big your bike is, but, you know, if I'm on a 56, the longest crank I will run is maybe 172.5. I prefer to be like 170, but, you know, sometimes it's just what comes with the bike, and I'll run it just because, like I said, I'm lazy that way. But you know, for cadence, you know, cadence is an interesting thing. You know, like really I should be working higher than I am at the moment. Get used to spinning. I should be up spinning probably, where are we? Probably about, yeah, I think I'm going faster than 80 here. I think my trainer's off. Oh, that's my heartbeat. She's also very low. Gotta fix that too. Yeah, I should be up in the 90s to 100. Everything from 145 to 100. Sweet spot 172.5. It's a great length. It's a great length. Like I said, a lot of my bikes have that length. It really does. I think it depends on how you like riding and what, you know, what feels good. You know, it's definitely comfort should be a priority for things. I know a lot of people do some very uncomfortable things on the bike, and I just don't think that bodes well for your performance at the end of the day. You know, it's you gotta have a position that's comfortable. Like I know a lot of guys that do weird stuff like slam their stems and their way down, and if you're not comfortable, you're not fast. Now that I couldn't find the right gearing for 165s, 75 to 85 in Zwift, 90 to 95 when racing tries. Yeah, it's I think a higher cadence is more beneficial for riding as a whole versus grinding a lower cadence. I intentionally try to get mine up because I naturally, I think I want to sit about 75, maybe 80, sometimes slower. But again, that's just my laziness coming through. It's just, I will go as slow as somebody lets me go. This workout is all over the map. Like I said, I just kind of planned to do the FTP and then noodle around. And that's definitely what we're doing. So do you have any big... So you're racing tri. So what's your big race this year, Dirom? What's your goals for this year for racing wise? Mine's already in the toilet. I was going to do Unbound. I didn't get in the lottery. Everybody I know, I haven't talked to a single person that didn't get in, and I have to say it makes me feel kind of left out. But that's okay. We've got some gravel stuff to register here in the next month, so it should be good. We'll get that itch scratched. Oh no, knee surgery. ACL, MCL, what do you got going on? That's not good. That's never good. Although I will say that I have friends that just recently had knee surgery, and they are way happier at this point. Took them a while. Actually, it was, if you watched the video this week, you'll have seen him, Coach Steve. He was doing a downhill, and he tore both. He was out for a bit, but he's quite happy with how he's recovered and how he feels and all that kind of stuff. And he was back on the bike and he's doing well, so that's good. Medial meniscus. I can work back. We do nationals or try nationals. Well, that's awesome, man. Like, I wish you the best. It's those kind of recoveries are tough, in the sense that I think the initial part, it's like the drive of most athletes. It kind of exceeds where they're at, and I would say sometimes it's more tough mentally than the physical part, because most guys that compete at any kind of level like nationals have so much drive anyways. It's the easing into things and having a good physiotherapy team sometimes to reel you in, that is the thing. But if you got a good squad around you and you got a good plan, I am sure you will be back. I tore my piriformis, it'll be 2 years ago now, and I tell you, it was, I didn't think I was going to make it back. But here we are. It's all doable. It's all possible. It's just, like I said, the outset of that, because when I tore it, when I went to the hospital, I couldn't even lift my toes off the ground. Like, I couldn't even lift my foot off the ground. It was terrible. It was agonizing pain. It was shooting. It was brutal. And when I started doing rehab and stuff, it was just like, I didn't think it was gonna go. Like, it was just like, I felt so weak. When I finally got back on the bike, I was like so slow. It just something else. But again, like, with good guidance and good people, they'll get you there. And as long as they understand kind of what you need to do and how you need to go about things, it all works out. It's never as fast as you want. That's the problem. I'm expected 3 months of rehab. Yeah. Piriformis was the same thing. I did it. I think it was the day before Christmas. I actually tore it on the 24th, and then on Christmas Day, they said I woke up, I couldn't move. I couldn't move my leg. It was just like the pain was so intense. Just like, this is crazy. Went to the hospital. They're like, we're not sure. It reads like sciatica, but it's not sciatica. We're not sure. And then sure enough, it was a torn thing, and it was probably 3 months. Yes, weight training is part of my regime. 100%. It's the most painful part of my regime. I was saying earlier in the stream, like I yesterday was a rest day of the bike, but I had a morning workout that I had to do, and it involved like basically my back and tries, and I always feel like I can't turn my head after that for some reason. It just like stiffens right up. It's I think it's just signs of getting old, but it's how do you test a piriformis tail? So so the piriformis goes from your lower back to your outer hip. They just kind of like, they rehab you and go. The problem that I was having is your sciatic nerve goes through, so when that muscle becomes inflamed, which it does, and what my problem was is it cuts it off, and that's why it reads like sciatica. Just ungodly nerve pain. So basically you will do things like a lot of stuff you'll see are like clamshells. You'll see, I would do a lot of lateral movement stuff with the bands. You know, everybody who's ever done sports and had to do any kind of recovery and physiotherapy, you'll know those rubber bands that they give you, that if you ever go to the gym and do any kind of weight, seems like the most humiliating amount of workload possible. It's like, what's this band gonna do? But they'll make you do stuff. So they would make me do like quarter squats and then move out laterally. There's a lot of like leg movements that we would do. A lot of like bridges. So you bridge to your back, so your back's straight and your knees are bent and you're on your kind of shoulders, so your knees are kind of like this and your back. This terrible example here. And then you lift the leg up, so you're kind of doing that, and then you're doing raises. Things that you think would be easy to do, and they tire the living shit out of you. Yeah, they just let it heal, and then it's rehab. I can feel it every once in a while. When I've been riding for a while, I can kind of feel like the spasming that I would have that was a symptom afterwards. I mean, it'll never be 100%. So what I use is a foam roller. I kind of do like a cross leg thing where I take my left leg, I put it on top of my right knee, and then I roll on that portion of my glutes to kind of roll it out. Lacrosse ball, I will sit on that and rotate it around. I will stretch pre-bike, I will stretch post-bike. Yeah, it's just kind of maintaining things and keeping things healthy and going. It's, you know, it's like any injury. You gotta kind of manage it to the point where it's not going to be a recurring issue. I call those bird dogs, one arm extended, one leg extended. There you go. It's, yeah, I'm a very traditional gym guy, so it's, you know, bicep curls and kettlebell movements, and that's kind of it. But like I said, physiotherapists that I utilize when I get injured, because it's not if, it's when and what I did. They're always really good and they're really patient. Any chiropractic work, massage therapy? I'm not one for chiropractors. I'm just not, I'm not in that space. I just don't, doesn't sit well with me. It's, I will go and free hang. If there's anything that's going to pop, it's going to pop by itself. So I'll do that in the gym, or I'll do inversion table work where you kind of hook in your feet and you hook upside down, just to get some relief there. But I don't want anybody kind of snapping me. It's just it just doesn't sit well with me. It may work for people and stuff like that. I'm not saying that people shouldn't get it done. It's not in my wheelhouse. Massage, yes. Again, where I go for physiotherapy work, they are torturous with that stuff. But that torture feels good. Use the Theragun, which has been a very useful device for me. Helped a lot. TENS machine, also good. And Normatec, they make the compression boots. They also have something for your hips, and I found that works really well as well. In fact, that's probably my favorite. And I'm not sponsored, they're not paid for. I paid for that machine myself. I find it great. You just put it on, set it for 45 minutes, an hour, turn on YouTube, watch somebody Zwift, watch some Sam Sulik, watch somebody, much bigger than me work out, watch some GCN, whatever it takes, watch a race, watch a cyclocross stuff, and let it do its work. And it's great. It's great. And then what I was doing the FTP test for, obviously, was in conjunction with the ice bath, just to ruin the video that I'm working on. The whole point of this was to see how doing 90 days of what I normally do with no added structure training at this point, just racing Zwift and doing low zone 2 stuff and doing ice baths every day for 90 days, how that would work. And looks like we got some gains. Obviously you know about the 6 watts, but there's a few more watts on top of that. So seems like potentially free watts, but not really. Fair enough. Good chiros are hard to come by. Inversion tables are excellent. Normatec also great. Yeah, it's just like I said, just know people that have had bad experiences. That's all. And for me, it's just I assume if my back was that out of kilter and then I had to go, I would go. But I find just stretching and doing, some actual mobility work and stuff that I probably didn't do enough of when I was younger helps a lot. But yeah, the Normatec it's great. I love that device, man. It feels good. It helps a lot. It really helps after big, long, like 160K plus rides where that you pushed hard and that you're going to feel it. And I imagine, it would be beneficial if you're doing tries just to kind of throw those on afterwards. Like, it just help with the recovery. I mean, when you're completely spent, the thought of sitting on a bike like this and kind of spinning things out at a low cadence / low wattage is probably the last thing on your minds. But throwing on some boots and relaxing, I think everybody can do that. I mean, it definitely works for me. I mean, I think the science is kind of mixed on it, but and it might be placebo, but I find that the onset of DOMs in my legs in particular is just not there in comparison to when I wasn't doing it. And like I said, I primarily got it to deal with the piriformis and do the massage because You know, you pay Normatec once, and you don't pay. You pay the masseuse every time that you're there. Solid effort today. Stay with it. It's been fun to watch you there. I'm off for dinner. Nice. Have a great day. Thanks for dropping in, Dirom. Great chat. I appreciate the company. Well, I just kind of spun things out. You have yourself a good week, my dude. And we'll be back on here Saturday for tiny races at 2 p.m. Mountain if you are down to watch me blow up, as is tradition. Yeah, I think we're getting close to the end of here. We're at 50K in. Like I said, casual spin. Absolutely. It's good to get those miles in, especially. I'm always tempted after, like I said, I hate FTP tests. I am always tempted to just kind of go and not do things afterwards. I just kind of almost want to jump off immediately and then just shower and be done. But, you know, clearly there's some more work to be done. Oh. What are we at? 52K. What am I supposed to be at today? Brian's live. Forbidden Goose is live. Everybody's live. Clutch is live. Boyko's live. Everybody's doing WTRL. That's why. That is why. And here's me just putzing around doing an FTP test like an idiot. All right, folks. I appreciate all the chit chat. If you haven't done so, please smash that like button. We're gonna just go through the circle here. Or maybe we'll just finish the lap. See, I got distracted. I saw everybody was online. I didn't even look. Like a goldfish. Like a goldfish. Progress. All right, we'll just do the loop round. Or There we go. Ah. All right. That is it for me, gentlemen. Appreciate everybody dropping by. You guys have yourself an awesome night, and we will catch you all later.